So why this specific test is introduced now, and what purpose does it solve in the admission process for the universities?
The introduction of DMAT is basically because of, as I said, the number of applications are tremendously growing. A university has a limited staff to evaluate.
Right.
So if they won't put the filter, it will be very difficult for them to have the right candidates in the place.
Or is the preparation of GRE sufficient or in line with the preparation of DMAT, or is anything extra in DMAT?
So this is basically a 90 minutes exam, the core module, and another module, the subject specific. So it depends what subject you are from, and according to that, they will give you a case study, they will give you a chart or a kind of a problem statement, and then you have to solve that statement.
And it happens only once in a year now, or what's the frequency?
As per the DMAT or APS website, only one slot is available. The slots of few places like Delhi has been filled up, and believe me, it could happen that if you don't book it fast, then you may lose the opportunity to appear for the DMAT.
Hello everyone. Today we have someone in our office who has been sending students to Germany for more than a decade now. And this organization called Yes Germany sending students to Germany for 20 years now. Now, Yes Germany is one company that has seen all ups and downs, all rules and regulation when it comes to Germany. So today we will be talking to Karuna Sial, who is the CEO of Operations and Support Function at Yes Germany. And today's conversation is going to be on one specific topic, which is DMAT, a test that is recently introduced in the admission process for Germany. So first of all, thank you, Karuna, for taking out time and being here. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you to you for inviting me here, and I'm getting a chance to meet you personally, and I'll be really happy to guide the prospective students about the DMAT. This is a really good topic which we are going to discuss, and I
Right.
hope that it will really help the prospective students to plan well in advance.
Right. So, would love to just talk about our viewers for a couple of minutes before I get into the question. So, the intent of this conversation is somebody who want to go to Germany and who don't know much about DMAT yet. Maybe some information about Germany process, but DMAT is something really, really new for them. And so we'll start from the very basics. What is this test? You know, why it has been introduced, and how to prepare for this test. What is the significance of this test? So all of these basic questions will I'll ask you. So I'll start from the first one. Like, why sudden this test was introduced? Because IELTS was already there, and then a lot of German public university have their own processes. Some takes interview, some don't, some ask for SOP. So why this specific test is introduced now, and what purpose does it solve in the admission process for the universities?
This is a very good question, and this question we keep on hearing from many students, like why this test has been introduced when recently APS was there, IELTS was there, as you said. But I would say, as the demand of going to Germany is increasing day by day, as you know, the other countries, UK, US, Canada, Australia, recently has faced a lot of dip in the students because of the bureaucratic stuff and other stuff. You know, their government is resisting now the foreigner student to come to their country. And
Right.
on the other side, Germany is providing the quality education. It's not like that Germany is the only country students can go. There are other countries, but why Germany? Because it provides the quality education and of course the economic education. They have the biggest economy in the Europe. So the introduction of DMAT is basically because of, as I said, the number of applications are tremendously growing. A university has a limited staff to evaluate.
Right.
So if they won't put the filter, it will be very difficult for them to have the right candidates in the place.
Right.
So I think that is the biggest reason the DMAT has been introduced, because the DMAT test more about the aptitude assessment or ability of the student rather than just the marks or their subjects or what they have studied. So they want to see a combination of the ability of the student, like the problem solving approach, apart from whatever marks they have, like howsoever they have presented their application. So that is basically a filter, and I think it is a really a good, you can say, a step by the government. Many students may say that, okay, this is an additional thing, why should we do that, it is delaying our process. But I would say, if you prepare well, if you plan well, then definitely it is going to help you for the future. Because once you land in Germany and start your studies, believe me, it is really difficult. Because
Right.
I myself have studied from Germany. I did my master's from HFT Stuttgart, Hochschule für Technik Stuttgart, software technology. And when I studied from there, I really saw a lot of difference between me and the other students who were already studying there, who were like German or European. So
Right.
they knew each and every basic thing, which we even don't study in our bachelor. So by the time I cope up, but it was really difficult. So
Mhm.
I think if we prepare well and get ourselves familiar with all these skills, then it would be really easy for students to cope up with the study pattern,
Right.
which they struggle later on.
So is it mandatory for all the students now, or is it just for the specific set of universities, public
No, no,
universities?
it's not mandatory for all the students. As per the APS guidelines they have published, it is only for the specific category of applicants, such as from engineering, management, finance,
Okay.
and business. And the other categories, such as BCA, BSc, data science, all these fields are not affected.
Okay.
I would say that they have published a long PDF mentioning too many, degree titles. So always consult a DMAT official website, check your degree, whether your degree is affected or not, and then take a final decision.
Okay.
And even if you are not confident, then please send email to the APS authority or just confirm before applying whether your degree is affected or not.
So what is the cost for this exam? Like, is it very costly? How much student has to pay?
I think the one who is planning for Germany and preparing for funds and everything, so the exam cost is 150 euro only.
Okay.
So it's not much.
Okay.
And
And any specific dates on which this exam to be held?
yeah, this news came on 29 June. So the
Okay.
registration started itself on 29 June.
Okay.
Last day to register for the exam is 15 September. And the exam is on 26 September. And the result will be available online on the GAST website on 12th October. So
Okay.
after 12th October, student has to apply right away for the APS certificate
Hmm.
because then the university deadlines are already open. So
Correct.
everything needs planning. And so I would suggest to apply for the exam or book for the exam well in advance.
I think it's great that you know all the dates by heart. So I can see how much this must have impacted the day-to-day flow.
Of course, we have to know because we keep telling our students that, okay, book the exam, slots are full. We keep sending them screenshots. And recently, there is a news about Mumbai visa that
Right.
slots are filling up fast. So we have to be updated if we are in this industry.
Obviously,
Yeah.
makes sense. All right. So this specific test, why there was a need of it? Like there is already GRE, GMAT, right? They also serve a very similar purpose, and I know that many universities in Germany accept those scores. So what is different about this test, which was, let's say, not covered in GRE or GMAT?
I would say GRE and GMAT is more about the technical part, like learning the engineering formulas and prepare the academic theory. But DMAT is more on the solving the analytical reasoning, quantitative aptitude, logical thinking, problem solving. So they want to see how the student is strong enough and can solve the problem under the pressure and how he can think. So that is why this test is a bit different from the standard GRE and GMAT.
Right.
So that's why this different type of test is introduced already when we have GRE and GMAT in place.
Got it. So how to prepare for it? Like, what is the best way to prepare for it? How much time should a student be given? Are there coachings available for it already or not?
I think students are really finding it difficult and they are a bit panicked. So first of all, I would suggest students not to panic because of this test, because this is not a very difficult test. If you prepare well, you can definitely crack this test. And as you said, how to prepare, are there any coachings available? DMAT is publishing a lot of sample papers on their website as it is just started. So it will definitely take time. But if you go through the sample papers and if you go through the all these questions, you can prepare, you can search that similar patterns available on internet or any other
Right.
source of these questions, so you can prepare well. And also start from right now, because I know the test is on 26 September. But
Okay.
if you start right now, devote your time every day for learning these questions or learning these skills, you can definitely end up in good preparation rather than just preparing in the last week of just before
Right.
the test.
And it happens only once in a year now, or what's the frequency?
As of now, as per the DMAT or APS website, only one slot is available, which is on 26 September. Registration deadline ends on 15 September. So this is very important. I would recommend each and every student who are affected, please book the test because the slots are very, very limited. In fact, I have seen the slots of few places like Delhi has been filled up And believe me, it could happen that if you don't book it fast, then you may lose the opportunity to appear for the DMAT, and you have to, face the whole semester delay because of this, test slot booking.
So this specific test to be taken before applying to the universities, because now it is part of the eligibility criteria. Is it you can apply to the university will say that here is your offer letter subject to the score in DMAT. Like where does the test settles in the process?
As you know now, most of the public universities, APS certificate is mandatory.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
for APS, you need to have DMAT. So these
Okay.
two steps are interlinked. So
Right.
I would say, I won't say that you cannot apply. Few universities are flexible, like private universities, they are bit flexible. Even they allow you to apply without APS,
Hmm.
but they provide you the conditional admission. But
Got it.
the other side, if I would say about the public universities, so their criteria, you have to check their university website. I would say 90% of the public universities, they need APS, and for the APS, the preliminary step is the DMAT.
Right.
So I would say DMAT is now the mandatory step
Right.
for applying to German universities.
But for those who don't understand APS, can you talk a little bit about APS as well?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So APS is nothing but verifying the authenticity of your documents, because when the file goes to the visa, earlier it used to take a lot of time to verify the authenticity. Like, because in India, students graduate from different type of universities. Even we don't have a similar grading system. There is a lot of struggle for the evaluation of the grades. So APS even finding whether this university is recognized or not recognized.
Right.
So APS is basically checking after consulting from the universities, or they have their own evaluation method, whether your university comes under the listing as per the NABIT, and whether your university is genuine, and whether you have graduated. So they basically checks the authenticity, and on the basis of that they issues the APS certificate.
Okay, got it. So now in the APS certificate, they will check the score as well, and then only will give.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
your university course has mandatory requirement, then they will also check it. So without that, you can't get APS.
Yes.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So in terms of the preparation, as you mentioned that this test is also the aptitude test per se. So somebody, let's say, who is good in academics already, like coming from the engineering background, or let's say, let me put it in this way, somebody who is prepared for GRE. So can they give the test without preparation, or is the preparation of GRE sufficient or in line with the preparation of DMAT, or is anything extra in DMAT?
No, there is definitely extra in DMAT, because every exam has its own pattern. So this exam is basically divided into two modules, the
Okay.
core module and the subject specific module. So core module basically focus on the analytical reasoning, logical thinking, problem solving. So this is basically a 90 minutes exam, the core module, and another module, the subject specific. So it depends what subject you are
Okay.
from, and according to that, they will give you a case study, they will give you a chart or a kind of a problem statement, and then you have to solve that statement. So I won't say that if you are have good preparation from GRE, this will definitely help, because you have that problem solving technique. But DMAT has its own pattern, and one should prepare as per the syllabus or as per the sample papers.
Can you talk a bit more about the module 2, which is subject specific? Like, for example, I am from chemical engineering. So then what kind of subject specific questions can I get in the module 2?
Mainly for the engineering background student, there will be questions related to maths, physics, chemistry, like all the
Okay.
technical subjects.
Okay.
But for the other background students, like the business and all, they have other subject specific questions. As I said, they haven't placed too many sample papers, but of course, as a business person cannot solve the mathematical questions, so the questions would be based as per your background. So it will be more about that.
Makes sense. So then many students will need subject specific preparation as well.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
is there any guidelines available? Like, for example, again, giving example of chemical engineering, because that's what I've done. The world of chemical engineering is so vast. So, is there any guide available from DMAT exam officials that, okay, these are the topics that can be asked, or nothing like that in the
As of
module
now,
2?
it is quite confusing. Students are also approaching us and even like, asking how can we prepare. So this has to be yet, checked, like where they will find the proper modules. But if they go through the exam structure, they will definitely find it like how to prepare. But I would say not lot of syllabus is available as of now. But by the time it will be available, and student will be able to solve it.
And is it a pass fail exam or is it a score based exam? So, for example, okay, you are either passed or failed, or is it like similar to GRE, out of 340 you have scored 300 or 280? What it is going to be?
It is not a score based exam. Of course, a good score always helps and strengthen your application. But
Okay.
even if you score low, it doesn't mean that your journey has come to an end. As I said that your overall application or application assessment depends on your SOP, your LOR, your marks, the way you have presented your application. Score, of course, plays a major role. So there is nothing like pass or fail. It is like whether that score is accepted by the university or
Okay.
not. Many university might not even see that score because it is totally a new concept.
Right.
Even universities don't have any idea that something like DMAT is going to be introduced. So maybe for them it is
Right.
it should not matter. But by the time we should not ignore this because as it will filter out the application, so they might look at the score. But as
Right.
of now, there is no negative marking, nothing. So I don't think that low score would affect the application.
And I'm assuming there will be more slots that will be opened up because right now September slot is for summer intake,
Yes.
but then there will be winter intake as well, and there will be another slot in Jan Feb. Is that
Yes.
fair to assume?
We are also assuming the same because
Right.
remember when the APS came, how difficult it was to
Yeah.
process the APS application. There was a waiting of 4 months, 5 months, 6 months for
Right.
APS.
Right.
But by the time this process has become smoother. So if Germany is welcoming international applicants, so they have to open the slots as well.
Right.
So when any new things comes, of course, it takes time to absorb, but by the time DMAT will become a normal process as the APS has become, because I remember when APS has come, many of us or students have thought now it will now increase our time for applying to the universities, but now it has become a mandatory step and it's
Right.
quite normal. So I think that more slots are going to open.
Makes sense. Now, I know, yes, Germany has been helping thousands of students every year in getting to German public universities. So I would love to spend, few minutes of your time, primarily speaking about, first of all, why Germany, then why public universities, like how they are different from private universities, and then what are the opportunities after you graduate from either the public or private, and what are the post study work visa or PR situation there.
Okay, to start with your first question, why Germany? I think I don't need to give any explanation because Germany is the number one growing demand for the Indian applicants or the other international applicants because of its lot of opportunities by Germany because of its technology. And about the public university, I would say that public universities do not charge tuition fee, first of all. So that is the one attraction for Indian students that there is no tuition fee because nowadays if you study from India from any normal college, you have to spend 20-30 lakh. So if I am getting an education in a public university similar to a ranking of IIT, because in India it is very difficult to crack IIT.
Obviously.
But at the same time, if I'm getting a university same as IIT ranking and in free or in very less tuition fee, so that's why students are attracted more towards public university and their infrastructure, everything, their professors, they have really good facilities. And about the private university, I would say that private universities are equally good because sometimes we compare public versus private, like
Yeah.
whether they are good or not good. I would say it depends on your choice because if you're getting right course in the public university, then you should definitely choose the public university. But sometimes students, just because they are getting public, they choose any XYZ random course
Right.
and they end up in a confusion, or they don't want to do that particular, they don't want to make their future in that particular course.
Right.
So I would say private universities are equally good. You have to check whether they are state recognized because mostly private universities are state recognized by the German government. It depends what you want to do, what is your goal, what you are planning. So benefits of studying in private universities are like you are studying in the small batches, getting the attention from the professor,
Right.
one-to-one interaction with the professor. Whereas in the public universities, it is difficult to catch the professor. There are big classes, so all those things. But I would say that after graduating, if you are applying for the job well in advance, if you know what you have to do, what is your goal, in which field you have to work, so you have to start very early. You have to prepare and you have to be in contact with your professor or mentors. Then only you will be able to end up in finding a right job.
Makes sense. And what about post-study work visa? Like, how long are you allowed to stay? And what is the chances of getting the PR?
Okay, so post-study work visa is 18 months,
Okay.
and it is, I think, really big time to apply for,
So
the
in
job.
18 months, you can find a job
Yes,
post
yes.
graduation.
Even
Okay.
after 18 months, student find sometimes if for some reason student don't find a job or something like some problem is there in the overall job market, then they can also extend this post-study work visa. There are ways, and for
Sure.
the PR, there you have to fulfill certain conditions like you have to work in companies, pay the taxes. So this process is not very complex. So I will say that if you find a job, pay the taxes, work over there, so you can easily get the PR in Germany as well.
So we actually have a product called Consultant Finder, which
Okay.
I was telling you
Mhm.
about as well. Our intent is to guide students to the right consultant because obviously there are tons of consultants in the market now, and for a student when they search online, there is no place where they can find out that who is the genuine consultant for me to know that okay, hey, this person will help me out. So would love to understand from you from a student perspective. Let's say if they're looking for admissions in Germany, how should they, what are the red flags and green flags in consultants? Let's say if I'm talking to a consultant, everybody will say that, okay, I can get you in this university, that university. But how, what are those clues that student can take up in the conversation that can tell them that, okay, this is not the right consultant for me, or this is the right consultant for me?
Very good question. According to me, a right consultancy when they guide student very transparently, because when the student comes to us, especially I'll tell about JS Germany when they comes to us,
Right.
we come with a trust because we are not guiding student just from past 2 3 years. We are guiding student from last 20 years. And me myself, as I said, I've studied from Germany. Even our team, many of our senior team members, they have studied and worked in Germany. So they know the real struggle. So we make the student aware with the real struggle, what they have to do. We tell them that you have to learn German. If you have to survive in Germany,
Hmm.
your course can be in English, but simultaneously you should learn German and you should able to give them the right guidance about the courses, because I've seen many consultants, even the student is not ready, or they don't have that qualification. They just say that okay, we'll get you done in this university. They just want money sometimes. But I think the right person or the right company or consultant is when they guide the student transparently, telling them about the consequences and helping them in choosing the right course. So you have
Right.
to take care like how many students that consultant has sent, how many years of experience they have, and you can always ask them to connect you with their alumni students so that you
Okay.
can get more trust. So I think these are the some pointers to be checked before hiring any consultant.
Right, but I've seen many consultant don't charge anything
Mhm.
for the process, whereas I think your organization does charge a consultation fee. So why is that? Why do you charge students for the consultation?
For running any business, of course, the money is needed, and because we have several kind of packages or the process, so it depends what student wants, and we are giving them a hand-to-hand service. Of course, for that we need a team, and we apply for the student, we pay the application fee on their behalf, we do the complete A to Z service, right from the counseling, their application process, visa process, and till they reach Germany. Student has to just provide us the documents and nothing.
Right.
So, for doing all this stuff, so we need to spend on that particular profile, and mostly we are doing admissions in the public universities.
Right.
So for the public universities, the fees, application fees is there, a lot of processing is there, and it's a very time consuming task. So
Right.
that is why, we have to charge, and of course that's a very fair charge which we are taking from student.
Right.
Mhm.
One more thing, as you know, finances are the core part of any education, and especially abroad education, which is too costly. Even though Germany, in many public universities, the tuition fee is not there, but even after that, the living expenses is, you know, quite some there. So, how do students usually arrange money for it? And I know that the money needs to be transferred to the block account. So, can you put some light on the loan side of the things, especially for Germany?
So I would say when the student is planning, he should not wait until the admission comes, because many students wait when my admission will come, then I will start arranging the finances.
Right.
But by the time admission comes and after this TMAT, there is already a lot of delay in the applying.
Right.
So I would suggest students to plan well in advance for the financial, check whether they need loan or not, because taking loan is always better.
Right.
Because you can finance your studies, it helps in all the, the visa process, everything. So consult with your family, consult with the companies who are providing loans. And if you need any documents, any kind of bureaucratic work which has to be done in advance, because if these delays will happen, your visa will be affected.
Right.
So finances, managing the finances in advance is very, very important.
So money needs to be paid to the block account as well?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Because for your living, you need a money. So German government wants to see that you have enough funds to spend your living. So as per the German government, the loan, the blocked account amount is 11,904 euros, and you should arrange that money well in advance. So please check whether you are self-funded or you have to take loans. So all these plannings has to be done well in
So
advance.
just to be clear, this is the money that they can withdraw later, right? It's
Yes.
it's not to be given.
Yeah,
It's like
it's called a blocked account because earlier what used to happen, like I think 8 years back or 9 years back, student used to put the money in the account and they used to withdraw all the money at once. And then it was like, finishing all the funds in one go, because
Right.
as a youngster, we don't know how to spend, how to manage, like
Yeah.
any students. So German government identified this problem and they introduced a blocked account so that you can withdraw only a specific amount, let's say 1,000 euros per month, which is enough for 1 month expense for any student.
Got
So
it.
you can withdraw only 1,000 euro per month. If you withdraw less, suppose you withdraw 700 euros, so that 300 euro will be added in the next month. You can withdraw
Got it.
like
So
1,300.
it's like an account where you are putting money upfront,
Yes, yeah.
and you're not allowed to take entire money out in one go, so that your finances can be managed
That's for the
accordingly.
safety and security of student.
Makes sense. Like for what kind of profiles Germany is the right option? For example, obviously, when a student thinks of studying abroad, it's not like that they just want to go to Germany. They compare between Germany, US, UK, Australia, and now so many European countries as well. So, what are the unique benefits of Germany compared to, let's say, any other country out there, and what kind of student fits the best in Germany?
Okay. So earlier there was a kind of saying that only Germany is good for engineers, especially the mechanical
Yes,
engineers.
that's what I heard as
But
well.
now
Yeah.
this trend has changed. Germany is as good as equal to business courses, management courses, IT courses, biotechnology. So most of the PhDs, even the Albert Einstein, he's from Germany. So I would say the students who are basically from all these fields, Germany is a very good option for them. Even the other fields like music, literature, they are also evolving. So it
Okay.
depends what kind of university you are looking for, whether you are ready to adjust in that culture and all those things. So I think Germany is the mm, good place for all kinds of fields right and nowadays. Other previously it was different, but now Germany is opening up their fields as well. So Germany is good for any kind of backgrounds, I would say.
Makes sense. I think that's it. All the questions that I had. I think most important part that I understood from you, specifically first about DMAT, is that it's not something to panic about. Right? It's a new exam introduced in
It's
the
just an
process.
additional
Yeah.
step in the application process.
Right.
It is nothing to worry, only the right preparation at the right time. And please focus on your goal, because I think one wrong step can affect your entire decision. So
Right.
don't let your fear take over your dreams. So plan well, prepare well, and I'm 100% sure that this test or any changes which are going to come in future as well, because see, where the changes won't come. Everywhere changes will come, and we all should be ready to face those challenges. But always make sure that your dreams should be fulfilled, whatever challenges are coming on the way.
Great. I think you have concluded it well, so I don't need to. Thanks a lot for time. I think
Thank
this
you. You
was
as well.
wonderful. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.